Hey, Dr. Karen Can here with another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And for the last couple of weeks, we have been healing up to 9 so-called alien infections. So before you freak out and go, oh my gosh, alien infection sounds horrible, sounds spooky. It's just everyday stuff for me. Where would we have picked up alien infections? Well, you know what? I think that there's just space debris that can come here. There's also actual aliens, so-called, that have not originated from Earth, that may have, seeded some things with experiments to see how we would handle these infections. So I didn't get into all these nitty-gritty details. All I know is the last couple of weeks we've been doing a really good job clearing these. I think with the Ascensions that have been happening, the upgrades, our abilities to clear those things is now really amplified. And so check yourself. You can ask, how many alien or non-terrestrial infections do I have right now, including hidden ones? And I have not found anybody over 9. And I've actually found in one case a pet had it, and the other pet was hissing, and these two cats were trying to live together and we're not getting along. And so I realized that the one cat had an infection that she was healing, and the other cat was sensing it in addition to the toxins, which is why she didn't like her. So I energetically cleared those, and I'm hoping to hear back from my friend soon that helped out with her household. So these infections are healing at a really rapid rate, but I have also done a clearing globally for that. So if you feel like you might have these infections, go ahead and close your eyes for a moment and let me do a clearing on you. So it's now commanded that any hidden and apparent infections or alien infections be completely cleared from you in the highest and best way in all directions of time, and any residual toxins also cleared and uncreated, and the holes filled with love. Thank you. Okay, so you can check every day if you have any residual alien infections and how healed are they, and you'll see that percentage keeps going up higher and higher and higher. And you may also notice that you might have been extra thirsty lately, or maybe you've had some weird pains. Well, these alien infections often will cause these weird pains just to come out of nowhere in your joints and your muscles. You think you pulled something, but you can't remember how. And that's kind of typical. You might be swelling, like my whole right leg was swelling, for no reason. And it took me a week or two to figure out that some of these infections that were clearing finally. So if that's the case, don't worry. You can also, do things to help your lymph flow. You can go to a lymphatic massage therapist. You can use the LifeWave patches to help with lymphatic flow as well. They are very, very helpful for that. Dr. Dennis and I did a show on that. So if you don't know about that show, you can go to patchtrainingteam.com and click on the LifeWave radio show and scroll down and see that old show that you can listen to that's archived. So you also may notice that in addition to hydration, that you may have mineral issues. Now, your mineral levels could be low because you're using up the minerals because of all this healing that you're doing, or there's something blocking, like the toxins from the infections, blocking the minerals from being actually absorbed. So you can check, how well am I able to absorb water? How well am I able to absorb and assimilate and utilize minerals? So check that with your muscle testing and do a healing around that and command those things to be healed if you're having problems in that area. And how you know you may be mineral deficient is that your tissues will seem kind of tight. Your fascia will be tight, and if you have low back issues or joint issues, you may feel like sudden sharp pains, like you move just the right way and you feel a catch, like, uh-oh, if I bend too far, I'm going to have a catch. I'm not going to be able to get up. Like, that's the kind of low minerals is a symptom of low minerals. So that's a little hint to you. If that happens to you, you could either need more minerals or you need to fix what's preventing your minerals from absorbing. So speaking of swelling, there are lots of interesting swellings going on, including this. I have noticed, this swelling in my belly area over the last 3-4 months, and I kept thinking I was just getting fat, and yes, I did increase my fat mass for sure, but I had to finally, this conversation with God yesterday, and healing another patient of mine, I realized that she couldn't lose weight either, and she's been trying, get off all the sugar and the ice cream. It's all stopped, and she normally just peels off the weight really quickly, and it wasn't happening. So we actually realized in her case, she was actually increasing muscle, bone, and brain mass, and she had a huge amount of fluid backed up in her omentum. Omentum, Omentum. So if you don't know what Omentum is, I will put a link down below on the YouTube channel so you can figure out what the Omentum is. But it basically is like this drape that has some fatty tissue, lymphatics, blood supplies, that it goes over your organs. It's kind of like a cushioning for your organs, between your organs and the abdominal wall. It's amazing because this organ, which I know barely anything about because we weren't taught a lot about it in med school, can house and store lots of nutrients. Of course, if it's overly fat, that's not good for you, but it can actually sop up a lot of extra fluid as well. And so I tested myself that I had quite a few number of pounds of extra fluid, being held in the omentum. And I'm speaking with Dr. Dennis on Monday on the radio show, talking about dizziness and tachyons and ringing in the ears and swelling. He said these are all linked to ascension issues for a lot of people, assuming that you don't have the toxins and petrochemicals and medications and other reasons for your belly swelling. But for people like me, he said that the earth is kind of like the center of that Chinese medicine 5 elements chart, and that center jiao, that center triple warmer in the middle of your belly, that's the middle warmer, is kind of responsible for grounding these new energies. And so it isn't actually surprising to him that I'm getting some symptoms of belly swelling. And in fact, one of his LifeWave patching protocols to support fluid movement in the middle jiao, or the middle warmer, is Triple Burner 4. I'm using Triple Burner 4 today with the Energy Enhancer patches. And that's just one of many of the protocols we talked about for some of these ascension symptoms. And then, dizziness and the different things like ringing in the ears. So if you did not listen to the radio show, the archives are up, so you can listen to that show. Patchtrainingteam.com. You can look at the blog, and I've actually written out some of the protocols right on the blog, so you can check those out at your earliest convenience. So I'm researching the omentum because it's fascinating to me. I know it can house lots of nutrients as well, and my body is just not really into eating tons of solid food with lots of fiber right now, so I'm just going to kind of go with it. I asked God about it. God's like, yep, that's just the way it is right now, at least for you. So I'd like to be able to eat more, I suppose, because I want to build some muscle, but at the same time, I'm just going to honor and respect whatever it is my soul's purpose right now to hold these energies for Mother Earth's ascension, and whatever needs to happen in my body, I'm just going to let happen. Certainly not harmful for me. I just, look like a little bit of a roly-poly lately, which I prefer not to, but oh well, that's life. We've had a lot of ascensions this week. We've had about 7. Yeah, 7. Some came within 36 hours, like 3 of them. And so how do I know this? Well, because all of a sudden my sensitivity will go way up. My colon will start hurting. That usually means there's entities nearby, and usually it doesn't do that unless my boundaries are a little thinner, and so I have to shore up my boundaries. And I was wondering, why do I have to keep shoring up my boundaries all the time? And God explained it to me. It's like I got a picture of a balloon. So you got this balloon full of water or air, and as we expand our consciousness, this balloon expands and the wall gets a little thinner, with each expansion, and then we have to kind of readjust. It's almost like upgrading the balloon to like a heavier duty balloon, but then we expand a little bit more, and then it's kind of thin again, and then we got to upgrade to the next one. So not everybody's going to have boundary issues, but those of us that are clairsentient and empathic, the empaths, we definitely do struggle with that. And it's just part of our gifts, but it's also part of our Achilles heel. So we have to stay alert to make sure our boundaries are healthy with every ascension level. So please check every day, how healthy are my boundaries, and then check how healthy are my boundaries with mass consciousness. You want that to be super, super high. Of course, you can check how healthy are my boundaries with Mother Earth, because sometimes you feel her stuff and you don't have to. I have to sometimes, but you don't have to. So check your boundaries with Mother Earth as well. And of course, the ones close to you, we tend to have boundary issues with the loved ones close to us as well. You may also want to check your boundaries with regards to entities if you happen to have a lot of problems with entities. Just check how healthy are my boundaries when it comes to entities and negative negative energies. You might have low boundaries there, and you have to shore those up. So a lot of these frequencies to shore up the boundaries, keep our shield strong, are actually loaded up into Ascension 2, and that is a healing product that I will be launching with From Heartache to Joy on October 3rd. Is the Telesummit series starring myself, and so October 2nd is actually going to be when the cart is open, where the first 100 people will get a really great discount on some of these products. And the Ascension 1, Ascension 2. Ascension 1 is really to release and clear negative energies, entities, psychic attacks, cords, curses, vows, all sorts of, harmful energies. There's a huge list that helps with. And then Ascension 2 is really for healing and integration, filling in the gaps, downloading the morphic fields of joy, peace, love, protection, healing the oversoul, past, present, future healing. Anyway, lots and lots of really cool things. So I'm really happy to and looking forward to October 3rd when I'm launching with From Heartache to Joy. So the link is down there on YouTube. In case you have not joined the mailing list for that, you definitely want to go to KarenCan.com/FHTJ, which is From Heartache to Joy, short form, KarenCan.com/FHTJ. Get on their mailing list. Make sure you're on my mailing list, because I will give you a sneak peek to the shopping cart on Sunday, October 2nd, so you'll get to know exactly what we're presenting. So we're, part of the contract is for me to give their folks a really great deal, and so that's people ask me if they can buy it now. The answer is no, you cannot buy it right now. I'm sorry. I do, in private sessions, we do download those frequencies to people, but right now you can't buy the product just yet. So you have to be a little patient. The muscle testing, I want to let you know, sometimes can be inaccurate of late because of dimensional dissonance. So that is when parts of our bodies are in other dimensions and we're not quite communicating all the body parts together. And last week I said, you can have something called a dimensional rift, and I didn't explain that very well, but basically you can have a location where there's a rip in like the space-time, and that the multiple dimensions from other worlds can come through there. And we've had some sensitive children being able to sense these rifts. I didn't even know they existed, but one of them was sleepwalking, having night terrors. The other one is autistic and not, being willing to, basically cross the threshold of where this rift was. It was amazing how they knew there was something wrong there. It was just fascinating. So I've had to heal some of these rifts. So if you're having some weird stuff going on in your house, you just want a muscle test to see if there are any dimensional rifts in your home, and then just go ahead, and if it's not for the highest good, go ahead and close and uncreate them and seal them up with love, and that should do the trick. And you maybe notice of late there's a lot of stressful stuff going on, people dying, committing suicide, being in the hospital, car accidents, people literally leaving the earth in droves. And I got to tell you, I know it's so upsetting for people, and they're so distraught and dismayed and upset and sad and angry, and that sometimes these things have to happen for us humans. Why? Because we need our hearts broken open. Think about it. We need our heart open, and sometimes we have to break our heart in order to open our heart so we can increase the love and self-love. And so if you have not been on a regular journey to increase love and self-love, and it's not a conscious daily thing that you're working towards or being aware of, then you're going to need things in your life to really push you in that direction, because that is the higher dimensional vibrational state. I know a lot of people think, oh, I'm a higher vibe, I'm going to feel better. Well, not exactly. Sometimes you need to feel pain first, so you can break off all that crud, covering your heart, and open your heart, and to get to what's really, authentic. And sometimes you have to go through some, unpleasant stuff to get there. And I certainly send you lots of love and bless you on your way if you are one of those that have been suffering or sad or upset for the things going on. It is not easy, and at the same time it's actually required for much of our development and evolution. So let's see, is there anything else I wanted to tell you about? Oh yeah, so as far as healing goes, we've had multiple ascensions this week, and healing on the heart level is really in the forefront and increasing the self-love, so you can actually check your self-love quotient. The second thing is I've gotten the go-ahead from Source to download the morphic fields into Ascension 2 to amplify some of our spiritual gifts and abilities, specifically telekinesis, telepathy, for those that are ready to do those things, and our conversations with the rest of the galaxy, which is very interesting, and our increasing abilities to connect to Source and higher self and be able to get those messages very clearly. And certainly I've been very pleased with that part, the clairvoyance being much, much clearer for me, and also the healing is again amplified. Lots of really cool things happening in shorter periods of time with people that I'm seeing, and I'm so excited. The more you trust yourself and the more you trust Source to guide you, and go with it, no matter what the weird answers are sometimes, the more you're going to get accurate answers. So that's kind of my advice for this week. And so lots of ascension going on, lots of ascension events. So if you're empathic, just realize you're going to have to work on your boundaries almost every day. Check in, how well am I integrating the ascension? You want that to be 95% or higher. And the last gift I want to give you is to go ahead and open your receiving channels. So I want you just to close your eyes for a moment. And if you stayed with me this long, you're super awesome to watch the whole video. I'm going to download to you that morphic field to be able to do that. So it's now command, power, love, and light, that the ability to have your receiving channels completely open and stay open be downloaded into you and activated right now with ease and grace. And for this and all the blessings, we give her thanks and gratitude. Awesome. Love you all. Have a wonderful week. Bye for now.